Warning, this podcast is R16 and these jokes are crude and they're also pretty hilarious, but they are not for the faint of heart. Please note that everything we say in this podcast is a joke. It is for comedic purposes only. With that said, welcome back to the Banter Barn, episode 2. Come along with your banter boys, have some laughs, enjoy the stories, and most importantly, enjoy the pod.
We should get babies eating elk meat. That'd be fucking everything.
This is the weed story that got me into university.
Fucking or fighting, there's two options. and they're not gonna angrily wank in their bed like begrudgingly jacking in the shower. Midnight, they're like, fuck, I didn't get any girls tonight. Alright.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Alright, here we
the
go. Teeth, the tongue, the lips.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. Yo! And welcome back to another episode of the Banter Barn. I'm Tim, this is Bob, and down the end,
Peter.
we got Peter. So we got a new guest in the house joining me and Bob for Banter Barn episode 2. How do you feel, man? How's it to be here?
It's great to be here. You know?
You did watch last week's episode, did you?
I did watch last week's episode. I'll try and match the shit stories.
Yeah, what'd you think of the first episode? How did it go?
You put the banter in Banter Barn. I liked it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
That's
Good
what we aim
times.
to do.
All right.
Well, should we
crack open these
Oh
monsters?
yes, a tradition.
Oh yeah.
Oh!
Hey, buddy.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Well,
Cheers.
Cheers,
welcome
boys.
to the Banter Barn.
Silent audio.
Oh,
us
man,
drinking,
that's always the best way though. Like honestly, we were just on the way, like on the car ride on the way here. We were talking about some of the funniest shit. We're like, oh no, we need to save it for the podcast.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly. This
Literally,
energy,
bro.
we need to encase this energy and bring it.
Yeah,
Bring it
no,
to the
that was the whole
podcast.
thing. Because
Yeah.
like, we've, honestly, it's like I've done it with 3 people before, but in this like open like format we got going, I feel like it's a what do you call it? A thing for success. Eh?
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever, you know what I'm trying to fucking say.
Yeah, something inspirational.
Yeah, a
Recipe.
recipe for success.
Yeah, there we
bro.
go,
The
yeah.
recipe, Benedict Cumberbatch.
Well, the first thing I wanted to say, right, is that last week I talked about a ear tag that I got given.
Yeah,
by
so
Saying is your mum might be your grandma might be more technically inclined than you are.
and it was
Yeah.
it was so funny, bro. So I'm sitting behind Bob in class, right? I'm just chilling. Next thing I know, I'm like, is that Bob's fucking ringtone? These fucking sparkles and everything start
dude.
going off. It's like flashing lights.
I thought Bob's phone was having a seizure. I was like, oh shit, yeah.
No, I thought Bob was having a seizure and fucking his phone was calling 911.
I thought it was like an automatic thing, but yeah, my ear tag, like, because it had been disconnected briefly with the Bluetooth, it was like, oh no, shit, you've lost it, and then it just started beeping.
And dude, not only the worst sounds, the loudest fucking beeping you've ever heard, but these flashing white SOS lights.
It was like you were at like a strip club
So
that you didn't want to be at. Yeah,
It turns my torchlight on and off like really, really fast, and then also puts the volume too full, and then starts ringing. And this happened in the middle of a lecture.
We were in literally the middle of class, someone's mid-speak and Bob goes off and I see this guy, he's like panicking, trying to get it turned
Yeah.
on.
I look like SpongeBob and Patrick when they're like doing the beatboxing.
And
Yeah.
it was so funny. So he
Yeah.
gets it, right? Turns it off the once. He's like, cool. Puts it down. He's like, oh, thank God that's over. Literally, it goes off for a
it goes
second
off
time.
again.
I think this must have been when you were in isolation, dude.
No, I was there. I
were you
remember
there? Were you
vividly.
there?
I promise.
Oh, fuck, it was
Yeah.
So, was it not so funny?
It was so funny.
And
I
it's-
was behind Bob, and all I could see was like club time on his phone. I was like, "What's going on?" Yeah, it was like Club Penguin, just
and the
bright
worst-
lights. I'm
and it
like,
was
bro.
dark, and it was completely
Yeah,
pitch
so
black.
all the flashing you could clearly see, and everyone was turning around like, why doesn't this guy turn his fucking phone on silent? And it
Yeah.
wasn't
And yours on
phone.
silent. It just all
It was your grandma's
The
fucking
teacher was
AirTag,
literally
dude.
at the front, like, "No, we will learn about semiotic." Bob's phone.
Yeah,
beatboxing on
yeah,
it,
we were learning about these bullshit things called semiotics,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And what they are. So it's like, what is it? It's like a dog's not a dog. Dog is just D-O-G. D-O-G are sounds. How do you associate that with dog? And then meanwhile, Bob's fucking light in the background.
Going
I'm
off
like, I
Party
associate
Central,
that with one thing. Fucking seizures and going to the hospital, bro.
Well, the best part about it was it's not just the phone that goes off; it's the ear tag as well, right?
oh, it was so
So one time, like in like our own class, right, I had my ear tag and I had my keys in my bag, right, and my phone on me, and then I left my bag in the room. As soon as I left, left, it just started going like doing this funky dance music in my bag.
Oh, dude, honestly, like this week's been good. Like it's been exactly 7 days. So we film the podcast every 7 days, and it's just like we've just been reminiscing about the week, and it's been a good week. Like I was talking about Friday night, went out, had a couple drinks, got to explore Christchurch. Christchurch is seriously heavy on there.
Yeah. What Tim's saying is he's 2 steps away from being an addict. So if everyone in Auckland goes, I think Tim's different. Yeah. You know why?
You know why I am. No. But this is the thing, dude. Like I get back after a night out, and it's like when I don't like I probably drink like once a month kind of thing. Well, that's what I try and do because it's like it's not great for you, but it's great for like social.
It really
social
is.
aspect,
It's good for
like
the
making
soul.
friends. Good for the soul as well. And we went over this in the last pod, so I'm like there, and I'm like, well, you know what? I'm already written off. I may as well just write myself off fucking. So I went over there, like went out. It was fucking crazy.
So there's a saying that my friend told. So the thing is, right, is that from my hometown, Nelson, you're not from Nelson if you haven't smoked weed with someone's mum. Like, honestly, it's just one of those things that you do. And one time she told me this beautiful saying, and it's something I've always stuck by. Weed before wine, and you'll be fine. Grass after glass, and you'll be on your ass.
Oh, dude, we got we got a similar one like that in Auckland. So it's grass before beer, you're in the clear.
Yeah.
Beer before grass, you're on your ass.
Yeah.
Dude, so it's
yeah.
fucking similar. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
poetry right there.
And I've always felt like that, when I'm drunk, like someone will be like, they'll offer it to me, and I'm like, no, alright, no, we'll keep it to one substance in my body at a time.
Yeah.
We don't want to like make some sort of crock pot of chemicals.
Dude, that's my
Just like
problem.
the witch's brew, just
Dude, because I do it so rarely, as soon as I do one, I'm like, well, let's get the fucking pot going.
Party central. You're like Bob's phone in there. You're like, let's go.
I'm just pouring as much shit as I can possibly get in there. I'm
Exactly. No, it's
knocking them back.
the worst part is if you have like weed with something like that, you're drinking something that's not just like alcohol like RTDs, but something like Bacardi or or Bailey's, like creamy stuff as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that kills.
And shit that's difficult to measure as well. So like you could have shots, but no one's carrying a shot glass around with them all night.
No
So
one's
you're
like,
just
"That's
drinking
true."
it from the bottle, and you're like, how much? And you never know, and before you know it, you're in someone
Yeah,
else's
exactly.
garden.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Passed
Like,
out
how
in
the
the
fuck
bush.
did I get
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
When I was 16, I found these drinks because I was a slut for a chocolate milkshake, and I found these chocolate vodkas,
Yeah.
and they were just vodka milkshakes.
Yeah.
Those are dangerous, buddy.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
four, 4 in, and I felt like my stomach curdling, and I'm like, uh-oh.
no.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't work. Like milk and alcohol,
Yeah, man.
nah, not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
Have you even just doing a milk chug, bro? Have you ever done one of those?
No, oh my god.
So and when I was in year 10, it was just when the Hunger Games came out, and that we did this thing called the Hungry Games. Now it was like an eating challenge. So like I think one of them, well, like our year, which was year 9. Oh, so I was in year 9. Was marshmallows. Year 10s was like baguette, and then like up to year 13, it was like a milk chug. So they got a 2 liter of milk. They're all on the field. Like this is a school event at a school. I'm not dropping them in it yet. But yeah.
That's school. Yeah.
just
One
for
of them.
preference, one of the schools, that one.
Exactly. Yeah, that one.
Amsterdam, right?
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Bob's like, I was in Nelson. I'm like, no, you weren't. He's like, hey, I'm like, Amsterdam.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but the Hungry Games, right? They did the milk chug. Circle of teachers and kids and stuff like that. They're all drinking it, right? Then when they start to throw up, they like throw up in front of everybody. Everyone's like, oh! But then like some of the other dudes, they start to throw up on each other. Like they're aiming, like they're running after people, and like going like drinking and go and like onto each other.
We just never did this stuff in Auckland.
This was in year 9. It's like, well, let's say 2012, and that was okay. Then by the time I got to year 13, right, we wanted to do a cross-dressing thing where like the guys wore the girls' uniform, girls wore the guys' uniform on the last day, right? But it got cancelled because it was like
because it was like not
yeah.
PC.
So think about that, like start of my school career in high school, it was milk chug and vomiting on each other. Then by year 13, it was like, oh, we don't want you to wear the girls' uniform.
Dude, you don't know if that's okay, inappropriate. You know?
It really shows you how like just from like the short
literally
time.
vomit on this guy's uniform. to, we don't think you should win.
No,
Yeah.
it's
The woman's
fucking
win.
crazy. I was watching this thing the other day about all the shit that like Rogan said, you
Oh.
know, Joe, and then like,
Yeah.
and then also like how CNN
Yeah.
have just completely. Like
Switch it.
just completely like fabricating lies about it. And
Literally,
I'm like,
they
what
were
the
like,
fuck?
Trump's out of office. Who are we gonna pick
Yeah.
on now?
yeah, no,
We're
legit.
picking Rogan.
I even saw that
Yeah.
they put a filter over his like picture. He made a video saying like I've got COVID and stuff like that, and then they uploaded that. They showed that video on CNN, but they put a filter over it so he looked more sickly and pale.
Dude, and no, it's so funny. He does an interview with a CNN guy, and he calls him out, and the CNN dude shits his pants on the spot, and I was laughing so hard. I was like, "Well, you kind of got what you deserve."
But you know that guy got fired the next day, bro.
No, he
Like,
didn't.
Oh, he probably did. We
yeah.
gotta find this out. But like seriously, he probably did. Like
Yeah.
think about it. He went on to Joe Rogan's podcast with the most viewed
It
show.
is his
at
own
the
platform.
moment.
It's actually a
is,
platform.
yeah,
Like the
yeah.
Joe Rogan Experience is basically a platform.
It is,
Yeah.
it is, yeah. Like you think about like so many people have gone onto it and like become even bigger than they were. Like maybe what's his name? What's the
Elon Musk literally went on there, smoked weed, and got like
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
Neil
Massively.
deGrasse Tyson, he became a huge Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson.
Dude,
yeah,
like,
Like,
yeah,
all
what do I
became
have to
huge
say to
things.
get this kind of like influx of attention? Like, AIDS isn't real, or like,
That's gonna be the clip that he shows on TikTok. So you stay tuned for that.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is the thing. Like, I wish I could get like, I just need to say the most out there shit, but then you like start that can almost be like a bad mindset in a sense, like always chasing, and that's where like Jake Paul comes in. He's that guy that's literally all attention is good attention, or like
Yeah.
all media attention is good
Exactly.
attention. Whereas it's like we've seen that aspect now through like Rogan and him getting exposed for like his racial comments, which obviously are fucking terrible. And then, but you see that like through the almost like the comparison between Jake Paul and Logan Paul. Like Jake Paul's really embraced that evil character, so now he can't really be like cancelled, sort of thing.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I mean? Whereas like if Jake Paul did what Logan Paul did, where it's like, you know how he went and filmed that guy in the suicide forest. I feel like if Jake Paul did that now, everyone would just be like, oh yeah, Jake Paul.
Yeah, Jake Paul's up to
Yeah.
stuff.
I always say that
Yeah.
Jake Paul did what Conor McGregor did better.
Yeah, he
really did.
Well,
He
dude,
did,
because he's not
actually.
even a
Yeah,
professional
yeah.
fighter. He's actually he is. Don't get me wrong, he's fucking good.
He's
I mean,
good,
he,
yeah,
he
yeah.
knocked out Tyron Woodley.
Oh,
and that
yeah.
takes some skill.
Yeah.
I think like it's so funny because like at first he was one of the most hated people on the planet. Like, besides Logan with the Suicide Forest.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
But yeah, like he was one of the most hated people on the planet, and now people are like, yeah, you can kind of box.
Yeah, now
I might watch
He
it.
knocks motherfuckers out.
No,
I
dude,
like that shit. Yeah.
And it's a respect thing as well. Like if you can, like, even if you are a cunt, as Jake really is,
yeah.
like
Literally,
as soon as you can go in there, because like, dude, no one in a boxing ring, no one gives a fuck where you're from, how much money you have, how much clout you have, all of that shit, your background, it gets
That
tossed to the
disappears.
side because
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
mano y mano. Who can fuck the other guy up? And the winner of that's got to command some respect because all that goes into it is hard work, dude. Literally,
Yeah.
the winner of two, in my opinion, well, obviously luck plays a factor, but the winner of a boxing match is whoever simply prepared the best and worked the hardest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Unless you're
it
going
was-
against Mike Tyson, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That guy in his prime could knock the tits out of anyone. Like honestly, it's fucking
Yeah.
scary.
Have you seen that interview with Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson? And it was like Muhammad Ali was quite old at this point, but like they would say who would win out of you two if you like fought in your primes, and then Muhammad Ali was like, I was real quick, but like, you know, if he hit me, that would be it.
No, honestly, Mike Tyson in his prime, like, dude, like, people, I don't think people understand how much of a ferocious motherfucker this guy was. He comes in at 19 years old, heavyweight champion of the world, already the most dangerous motherfucker on the planet at 19, right?
Yeah.
He kills everyone for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
He's 22. They send him to prison for 10 years, loses all of his prime years, comes out, and still dominates like 99.9% of the population. It's just the very top, like, young guys who beat him. I reckon Mike Tyson, 22, all those prison years,
Ooh.
I think he kills everyone, dude.
Yeah, well, like there's that quote by him. I'm not gonna say the last word of it, but "fuck you till you love me." And then some
to the guy in a stray jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck you till you love me. And I was like, whoa, that,
and
Whoa.
he means that.
and like the funny thing is that coming from him, that is not a gay move at all. It is just a dominance.
That is
that is
badass
just-
as
that
fuck.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, it's just a primal level, like just violent.
Think about it, bro.
dominating
Like animals do that shit. Like it's actually a sign of dominance. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, dude, in his prime, he was primal, dude. He was
Literally,
like,
Joe
animalistic.
Rogan said he had to get a bigger table for his podcast because
Yeah,
he sat at a
totally.
table with Mike Tyson and was fucking terrified.
Yeah,
You know?
and I would be too, bro. That guy's
Yeah.
a formidable motherfucker.
That
dude.
guy's
Oh,
massive,
exactly,
bro.
because like you don't even want to like piss him off slightly. Like you saw back in the day where like someone would even like go like, "Hey, Mike," and then like he'd like look at them like, what?
And dude, and
Yeah,
now
he
he
makes
started smoking weed, and he's a nice guy.
Oh, he's just chill as hell.
That's
He's
what I'm
so
saying,
chill.
like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
I'll be around Mike Tyson when he's on drugs, but sober, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
actually chills him out, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, and like that podcast he does now is amazing.
Yeah.
some
Oh,
of
so
those
good,
even,
man.
when he
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
does that interview with Eminem.
Eminem.
Oh.
I know exactly what you're talking
You're
about.
the only black guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the
no,
only
no,
white guy.
You're the
that
only
knows.
white guy who knows what it's like to be a, and then he just drops the N bomb.
And he's speechless. And he's speechless. He
And
doesn't
then,
know
and
what
then
to say.
Eminem's like, "Thank you, Mike. Thank you."
Yeah.
Because you
What did he
can't
say?
you can't
What did he
reject
say?
that compliment from Mike Tyson.
You
but
can't.
also you're white.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's not a whole lot.
Eminem was like, "How do I not get cancelled?" Yeah. Like,
No, legit. You can
thank you. Yeah.
you can see his brain working. He's like, I don't want to get fucking cancelled. So he's like, I also don't want to fuck over Mike Tyson. He's like, thank you, Mike. Thank you. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting
safe move.
response.
Safe move.
But
Yeah,
now
yeah, yeah.
we were thinking what would be like a hilarious segment for the Banter is if like we did like half of it completely sober, like completely fine, and then we came back either drunk or like just under the influence of some other
High as fuck, man.
yeah,
just-
high as fuck,
Yeah.
and then you could like compare the differences between like the first half and the second half.
Exactly.
I reckon it'd be super interesting to see how much we change because like Mike Tyson, right, literally went through a personality like metamorphosis
He literally did.
into
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this nice humble guy who you ask Mike Tyson now who wins in a fight, he'd probably say, oh, the other guy, but like, and that's literally solely down to the fact that he had all these like crazy like experiences with like
Exactly,
DMT and like
You know,
all
right.
those
Yeah,
weird
yeah, yeah.
drugs, and but even now like with the whole weed thing, I think he spends like $100,000 a year. on
He
weed.
probably does.
Probably.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like
Crazy.
Snoop Dogg has his like private blunt roller, like just a
Yeah.
blunt. Like I did watch him on Joe Rogan the like last
Oh,
week.
great
And
podcast.
he rolled like 26 blunts over the
know,
3
yeah.
hours or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Dude, how can you do that, man? That's so impressive.
Imagine trying to go mono a mono smoking
Oh,
with
no.
Snoop
With
Dogg.
Snoop Dogg,
You're
dude.
fucked. Yeah.
Oh, honestly. Okay. How about this? Who is your top? Let's say top 3 sesh circle.
Oh, so 3 people in a
Dead
circle.
or alive?
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive. Let's
Oh,
go. Let's
yeah.
go.
Good question, Tim.
Alright, should I start it off? What do
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do?
yeah.
Okay,
You
should
start
I
off. You start off however we think.
I'm thinking first of all, I want like Bob Marley there.
Oh yeah. All right.
Give
That's a
it.
classic.
Like, come
yeah.
on, tunes, reggae.
Yeah.
Definitely
The
a
vibes.
weed smoker, I would imagine. Like,
You would imagine. I think so. To confirm.
yeah.
I think we can say he was. Yeah.
and then okay, and then someone else like. I reckon. I think it would be a blast if Rogan was there.
Oh yeah. No. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think Joe Rogan would be great.
I think
and
he
then
would be good, yeah.
and
But
then
also, I think it'd derail the conversation. Like, hey guys, you like ever hear about chimps? Like, fucking tearing the fucking faces off.
Yeah. He would be like, "Have you ever tried elk meat?"
dude, we should get babies eating elk meat. That'd be fucking everywhere.
Talking about the gains. Yeah.
Clip that.
Yeah, right there.
Do you not reckon that it's such a Rogan
That
thing
is
to
such a
say?
Rogan thing to say. Yeah.
And then like third person, I want someone to like blow my mind. So I'm thinking like, I'm thinking like like Neil deGrasse Tyson, like someone who's super smart.
Yeah.
Smart,
Someone,
yeah.
who's definitely never got high before, and I feel like he could fit that criteria.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Neil deGrasse Tyson's got high before. You
Yeah.
hear what he talks about?
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude.
I don't know if you can talk about those subjects without getting high.
Or maybe Elon, but like he has to actually like smoke with us. Like he has to get so high. He has like because I've seen like obviously we saw Elon and he's like, oh, it has really no effect. Imagine we just give Elon
No.
like an ounce and we're like, hey, take it away.
Alright, well, here's my
Yeah.
rebuttal to that. Right? Here's my rebuttal.
Okay.
I reckon Elon would be that weird dude. You'd give him too much, right? And then he'd be like,
be in the corner.
he'd be he'd be come out of his shell, and then everybody would be like, okay, no, go back into your shell.
Like, no, don't talk about how robots are going to take your property, please. No. We're just trying to vibe out here.
Imagine you're in a park with Elon Musk and he's there like this, like just paranoid about who's gonna come around the playground, fly.
Like, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. Yeah.
What if he became self-aware and he's like, I named my kid after a fucking plane? What have I done?
I know, yeah. And I know you guys have had some doozies of weed stories here.
Oh,
I think I may have one.
Dude,
here we go.
It's gonna go for the top. Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
I think Tim's heard this before. Was parts of that. Have you not?
I haven't. No.
I haven't heard this either.
We got fresh ears. Are we ready?
Mate,
Okay,
mate,
cheers to this. Cheers to this.
Let's hear it.
Okay, this is the weed story that got me into university. Here we go. Yes.
Peter's going for it. Peter is going
I am
for
going
it.
for it. I'm not fucking around, guys.
Yeah,
Literally.
right.
Yeah,
It
I
got
was
you into uni.
It got me into uni.
This guy.
I was in my interview, and the conversation was flowing. We're just having a good chat, good banter. And he goes, "Is there anything in life that you regret?" And Peter, naive at the time, stupidly thought, "Why don't I tell this guy my weed story?" So here I go. Here's the story, everybody. Yeah, so I was just at my flat, chilling out, just vibing. I just walked outside, and my flatmates were like, "Hey Peter, bro, you never smoke with us, bro. You're not cool, bro. Why don't you smoke with us, bro? You're the fun police, bro." And I was like, "Oh, come on, guys, I'd smoke with you. You just never ask."
Wait, as a comeback, that is fucking so good. But now,
Literally.
get this. Now you've set yourself up for absolute fucking
I have set myself up for a fucking
That's
disaster.
hook, line, and sinker.
Yes.
You're in it now.
And then, and that night I had a first date. So what I thought was like, I can smoke a little, I was like, fuck it, why not? Yeah, I'll just get a little bit.
Get you in the mood.
Get me in the mood, get me in the
That's the
vibes,
thing is, some people are nicer, some people are better at conversating.
Yeah, exactly that.
And
I just thought-
and some people are crying in the corner.
We'll find out which one I am. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, so I take a few hits of the bong, just chilling out. I'm just like, I think I've had enough. I just go like, I've got to go now, guys.
Yeah,
Got to
yeah.
head off. So I'm walking down the street. I'm just like, hasn't hit in yet. And then I'm walking. Then I get halfway down the street, and I'm like, I'm high as shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say the key word is yet.
Yeah.
Yet.
I swear, this
Exactly.
is how it works. Like, I'm like walking down the street, and I'm like, it's not working, and then I walk into this fake glass wall, and it just goes whoomp, woof, and
Literally, like walking into someone
it's
slapping
like a
you in the
split
face.
second, and it's like, I'm stoned now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Stoned
When
as
you're
fuck.
when you're
So
at the
that's-
place, you're getting
yeah.
high. You're like, sweet ass, this is cool. Like, I'm really comfortable. But as soon as you leave the place, you're getting higher. You're like, no, this is not
No,
cool
this is
at
not
all.
Basically. So I'm halfway down the street, high as shit. I'm like, great, the date is like only in like 10 minutes or so. I can't cancel. I'll look like an asshole.
Yeah.
So I go. And I'm there, and I'm just like, okay. She's like, let's go for dinner. I'm like, yeah, sure. At this point, I've got the munchies.
You're like, dinner's a great.
Dinner's is on.
Yeah.
I'm hungry as fuck. So I'm like, getting a massive order. She's just getting something small, It's the first date. She's being like smart and being mature and not looking like a animal like I am. Yeah. So I just get a massive order, just chomping through it. After that, we go bowling.
Oh, here it is.
I'm still high as shit.
But how good was the meal though?
Oh, it was the best meal I've
So
ever
like
had.
so far,
Yeah.
if you had to say like how the date was going, do you reckon you're doing a good job?
I think I'm doing good.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
keeping
banter.
conversation going. I'm
Do you-
chill.
So
good
you're
vibes.
getting like the good vibes reciprocated.
Yeah, I think we're doing okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so potentially, if you ever want to get blazed for a date dinner,
Yeah,
Peter's-
I think you're not bad.
Pete-
You'll be
Peter's
fine.
thinking, why not,
Yeah. Bowling, on the other hand,
Bowling.
you're about to
Let's
find out,
continue. Yeah.
is not the greatest.
I was gonna say the eating would be easy. It's just the hand-eye coordination of bowling might be a bit.
Oh boy, you're ready.
harder.
So we hit the bowling lanes. I'm ready. I think I'm gonna get like a great score. I'm just like, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna have a fun time. I'm gonna joke around. What happens? First one, got a ball.
Oh,
Second
no,
one, got a ball. Third one, got a ball. I'm thinking, I don't know if I can come back from this. She thinks that my coordination is shit, like the worst ever. I'm like, what am I gonna do? So after 3 guttables, I don't make a comeback. She's absolutely killing me. She destroys me game 1. Game 2, I don't fear too much better. Yeah.
You went for game 2.
I was young and stupid. Never go for game 2. Which is high as fuck. Yeah.
Like, that's a case where you quit while you're behind.
You
bro.
do. Yeah.
You quit before you get burned.
Yeah.
He wanted to go to the back of the line.
You know, as you can tell, I had far too much self-confidence.
Nothing makes it.
So we finished the game, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, everything's chill. Get a text later that night. She's like, hey, were you high while we were playing? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh,
honesty is the policy.
I was like, I can't say I wasn't, you know? Who's getting like 5 gutter balls in a row, you know? Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I was, you know?
So good.
And weirdly enough, she didn't ghost me.
You got a second date.
I got a second date. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. A few months later, she sent me the scorecard. It was not a pretty sight.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
Like this,
yeah.
I feel like. So these guys are a little bit older than me, and I feel like these are the like sort of experiences I need to have, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, I've had my fair share of like funny experience. Like, what did you think of that video of me doing the nang?
Oh, that was brilliant. Oh, it's so funny to me,
Dude,
man.
when you
Oh.
said that your dad was patting you on the shoulder, I was
It
cracking
was
up.
so funny.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
was just, he was standing right behind me talking to my friend, and then he must have just seen me doing it, and he's like, and he rubs my head like a well done son.
Proud father moment. I've never been so proud.
Yeah. But no, that's
Great
the
job,
thing. Like,
Tim.
I wish I had like more sort of life experience. Like me and Peter were saying before, we feel like you've had a lot. Like even though you're only 22, we feel like you've had a lot of life experience. And even like I was going on a mad stalk on your Instagram before, because I changed to Bob's Burgers. I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
Exactly. Oh yeah. By the way, follow _Bob's Burgers _ something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll find it. I'll
You'll
put it in
find
the
it.
description.
He's
I'm still
topping,
working
you'll
it
find
out.
it.
I'll chuck. Actually, you know what? I'll chuck all of our socials in the description
bro.
now, because fucking like that's how
we
do
roll
it
with
on
a
fucking
banter.
Banter.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was geezing your Instagram, bro, and it was like even seeing your weight transformation, I was like, fuck,
yeah,
dude,
no,
that's why.
There's some like so. I may like I was saying in the car ride on the way here, looking at myself in the camera was horrifying because the camera adds 10 pounds and I'd gained 10 pounds since I'd last been on camera. So the camera added
like
20
20
fucking
pounds.
pounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was like 125 kgs at a point
Yeah.
when at my like lower my lowest mental state, right?
Yeah.
And then I went through this change where I quit my job, I left all my friends, and I just went like, I'm just gonna go solo and isolate. It was like after the first lockdown in 2020, and then like after I just had this motivation to just get it, man. And then like I lost like 40 kgs or something like that. Bro, imagine losing a third of you.
Yeah,
It's
nuts.
nuts, man. It was the weirdest transformation. And then I saw like my old
That's
boss.
nearly half of me.
Exactly.
And I'm not a small guy.
Yeah,
exactly,
exactly.
yeah.
You're a tall motherfucker.
And that was the thing. Like I was like, it was incredible, like to me. But the weirdest thing, bro. This is something I've been wanting to talk about at ages.
Yeah.
Skinny privilege is real, bro.
Really?
Fuck, man.
Really?
It's not even a skinny privilege. It's more, you know how people say there's a pretty privilege where like if you're beautiful you get like certain things in life that
It's not even that.
it's not even hard for you to get into things and all that. But like with being like skinny, I noticed that people like respected me more. They talked to me more. They wanted to hang out with me more. It's almost like they were like not embarrassed to invite me to a party or something like that. It was weird as hell. And I got into a relationship with a girl, and I asked her honestly, would you have like even looked at me twice if I was like this? And she was like, no. And I was like, would you have even dated me if I was like this size? And she was like, no.
Fuck, that's wild.
Yeah.
See, that's
I'm
something...
not with this girl now, by the way.
Yeah.
I realize that's not a bad.
That's
that's a bad
not the
view.
right answer.
Yeah.
For use at home, if she says that, that's not the right answer.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's wild, dude. Like, definitely, because I used to be a little bit chubby, but I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
So, like, I was like 14, but I was pretty big, dude. Like, I would have been like 80 kilos at 14. I would have thought at least. And then I went through a transformation, lost all this weight, and now obviously I'm like an avid gym guy. I love the gym, and my mates are saying like, "Oh, Tim, you don't even realize, but like people definitely treat you differently." And I'm like, "Hey, like really? Like I really don't see it." And then they brought up an example. And I'll tell it now. It does make me sound like a fucking douchebag, so forewarning. But like, we're at this like party, and like to be fair, they were like, it was me and like there were like 4 guys there, and there were heaps of chicks. So it's like there wasn't exactly a massive selection of guys. But my mate Lucas was just like, he was saying that like, when I went in the, he was like, Tim, you don't realize, like, when you went into the place, like, all these girls are, like, actively talking to you. Like, that doesn't usually happen. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, fuck, really? But it's weird, like, having, like, obviously now having, because I was a bit too young to, like, experience, like, the fat neglection sort of thing. So it's like, I didn't even process that, but having people bring that up, like, it's actually kind of, like, eye-opening in a sense, where I was just like, fuck, it's actually real, dude.
A lot of girls don't make that first move unless they really, really want it. I was actually talking about this with one of my mates the other day. It was a really interesting point about how girls are not dropping the handkerchief anymore. Now, here's this, right? Yeah. Think about in like the 1920s, right? Gentlemen's and all that sort of shit, right? Yeah. You wouldn't really like go up to a lady and like, you know, just like flirt with her and go like, damn shorty, look at that ass, and like all that sort of shit. Like, there was no catcalling.
Can you imagine strokes his mustache? Damn shorty, look at that ass. Can you fucking imagine?
Exactly. So it's like,
at the same time, I hope no one's saying today, damn shorty, look at that ass. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go well.
Excuse me, missy, may I snort a line off your breast?
But yeah, so essentially what girls like, it's the whole like idea of like in those Victorian days, instead of like just going up to a girl and like starting that conversation, the girl drops her handkerchief so that the male has an opportunity to be a gentleman and pick it up for her and give it back to her, and then that can initiate the conversation. So it's like they're not dropping like that hint that little like opening.
They want you to do everything kind of thing.
Give like I message to all girls out, just give the opportunity. That's all you need to do. Like,
it's something a little bit more than a look, because now personally I'm so afraid of like rape culture. Even if someone gives me the look, I'm like, was that the look? I don't want to be a creep and like go up and then like completely misread the situation.
Yeah, and then you're cancelled.
And then you're fucking cancelled.
Exactly.
Like this is the world we live in now, dude, where it's like, even if they did drop a handkerchief,
oh, you should go.
I need to bleep that.
You probably do. Yeah. That's going to be censored on the podcast. We don't recommend censorship here at the Banter Barn, but even that was fucked up. So when you hit the beep, it was for a reason.
That was fucked up, dude. That was fucked up. That was fucked up. See what I mean? I didn't think about it. I get carried away.
I was with you. I was like, the sentence is going fine, and then you just were like, I was like, oh shit. Yeah.
Just
I can't go
some
yes
information,
anymore.
like it wasn't anything like extreme. I don't feel like it's just not. It's just not suitable for online platform.
You didn't word it the best.
Maybe if we proofread that and
yeah. But don't you also feel like, dude, like when I'm at a festival, like my hands are in my pockets, dude, because when you're shoulder to shoulder, you don't actually want to get your hand in the wrong place and accidentally brush, like especially like a lady's like. I don't know, like
exactly. Because one that's creepy too. She may have a big boyfriend who's gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, who's gonna king hit you when all you did was like just
accidentally
walk past
someone.
And especially these days, it's like when you go into town and stuff like that. As me, like, because I'm like 22, turning 23 this year. I don't really like want to get with anybody like younger than like 20 or something like that. That's like.
What did you tell me about the age thing?
So this is the general rule: right? Half your age plus 7.
Bro, I've never heard a better rule for that.
It's really
so true.
It really gives you like a good gap for as you're getting older.
You need to like take this PSA and take it around my hometown because they're not following the rules.
Exactly. That's where I got it. Oh my god, it's just ridiculous.
Is this like a Nelson rule that you're like, bros?
Please. Exactly. I said to this dude, like anytime you bring a girl home from town, it's like, hey, can I see some ID, ma'am? Before you, like, cause like, my mate, he took a girl home from town. He was 22 at the time. He's now like 30 or something like that. Yeah, but like this girl, he got in a fake ID.
Oh
boy!
And she was like,
this is such a dodgy situation. So now, like, what do you do? Like, is the guy at fault? Is the girl at fault for using the fake ID? And if there's a problem, who's it? I guess if, as an older guy, you're still at fault.
As a guy, you'll have the responsibility of doing a bit of investigation.
Yeah, you gotta go on your research, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just don't leap into a situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Do a bit of digging, do some like common sense thinking. Like, you know, if like she's in a group of girls and they're like wasted off 2 martinis that they've like ordered at the bar.
Exactly.
Maybe not, right?
Yeah, 1 + 1 usually equals 2.
There's a uni party that goes on down here in Christchurch that I went to to once, and it was embarrassing, man. Because like my mate was like, "Hey, like come along to this. You might meet some people. It might be good for like to socialize with some uni students rather than like yeah." So I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll go there." I went there, and it was just a bunch of 18-year-olds who had never drunk in their life.
Really?
And this was the first opportunity away from home, away from their parents.
That's
So they're going there for a reason, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's
they're
a
like,
night for them to remember, a night for you to forget, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going out, and I'm like going, like, I'm pretty wasted, I'm drinking and stuff like that, but I'm like looking at these people that are just like embarrassingly drunk in public. Because I always say that there should be a certain responsibility for yourself, that you shouldn't like look back on your night, look at yourself and go like, I was like a mess and I was embarrassed by it. Sometimes it's okay, but I don't reckon town's that
I
place
definitely
for it.
did that at my 18th.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
What's your 18th story?
You've got to do it once. Like, you've actually just got to do it. Well, I just got so fucking drunk.
Yeah.
And then next thing I know, I wake up on the road in my boxers in the morning.
Yeah,
Really?
there you go.
The last thing I
Yeah.
remember was cutting into the cake, and then I'm on my street. I'm literally on my street, and I've fallen asleep on the road. It was it was ridiculous.
I had a similar thing where I was drinking in a park, went home, and then like went to see my mate before it, and I was like, "Hey, you want a spa, bro?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." I like, and then I was like, 3, 2, 1, go, and then I got like cheeky head on him, and he was like, "Nah, fuck that."
Oh,
down on the ground.
Hey, knocked you out.
Yeah, oh yeah, like clean out.
Mike Tyson in the building. Just
And I was
boom.
like, yeah, bro, I
like,
think
oh,
and I like got up and I was like, yeah, bro, I think I'm gonna go away. And then I left, right? Woke up in the morning and my dad was pissed off, and I was like, why are you so mad at me? And he's like, maybe because I had to pick someone up at 3 a.m. And I was like, what did I do? And then someone had found me passed out on like the corner of a street and called an ambulance for me. And I was like saying because my mate's name was Cody at the time, and I was like, yeah, my name's Cody and I live around there. And then I got like a letter in the mail, like for my address, mailed to my friend. And I was like, what the hell is that? You've got a thing, and he's like, I didn't call an ambulance. And then I clicked that. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that was you. Shit, I'm not even gonna say my 18 story. That one's too good. Yeah. I was like, mine wouldn't add up. Yeah, it would be like...
Go on, let's hear it. Oh, really? Okay, fair enough.
That's pretty lame compared to that.
That is wild, dude. I can't believe you got KO'd and called an ambulance.
I feel like the reason I've had like more life stories, right, is because like, I mean, I left school at like 17 or something like that, and then just like was working and going out as much as I can. My money wasn't saving. It was just a funnel.
That's the thing.
It was circulating.
I basically go out once a month, so it's like I get a new story every month, and that's about it, kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
But I find that personally that just works better for me. Like I enjoy that more. I find that I get more out of the night as well, and that like it's always like I always find the story so much funnier, you know. It's because it really like sticks out in my mind. But fuck, man, I have had some experiences, bro. It was so funny. Like when we were out in town. This was over the summer. We were all out in town in Auckland, and
here you go.
And there were these guys. So we were with this like group of chicks, and we were walking from one bar. We were going from like one club to another club. And on our way there, we were with this like group of chicks, and a couple of them were like Ubering home. And there were these really weird, like old guys. Like we're talking like 40 to 50, like guys who were off their face. Like clearly so drunk, like staggering around and stuff. Yeah. And like they were going up to like the Ubers that the girls are called when they were in the back and like sticking their heads and their like hands through the windows. And we were like, what the fuck? And so I always trying to like, I definitely don't welcome trouble, but like I'm also not gonna like actively avoid it if there's clearly something bad like going on. So like my mate goes up to these guys and he's like, bro, like what are you doing? Like you're just being a fucking creep. And then they like stop, but they start following us, and we're like, okay, what is going on here? And my mate turns around and he's like, and he goes up to the guy, and because he was just getting really annoyed that they were following us. Like, why? Like, just like it's such a weird thing to do. Like, like be real noncy and then like creepily follow us. So my mate goes up to him and drops the funniest bar I've ever heard.
What did he say?
He's like, go back to little Jimmy and your divorced wife and tuck him in. Like patting him on the stomach. It was so funny. Dude. And this guy's eyes just go red, bro. He saw fire and he grabs my mate. Oh fuck! He grabs my mate. He grabs my mate, and then like as soon as I saw this, I'm not like someone who looks for trouble. If anything, I try to avoid it, but like. Don't touch my boys, bro. Yeah, so like we run over and we like grab this guy, and we weren't like gonna throw punches or anything because it's like they were clearly so drunken and that's like assault and whatever. But just as like a get away from us, stay away from him, one of my mates like grabs him, and then
Yeah.
I grabbed him and like pushed him. But like, you know when you like put your foot in front of someone's
Oh
leg?
no! And
It
he's
was
just
so
gone.
funny, and he just fell flat on his ass,
boy.
bro. It was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
funniest thing I've
Oh,
ever
so
seen, bro.
good.
Like falls flat on his ass, and we were laughing so hard. And he
Like
gets
almost
up.
banana peel.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, 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 exactly. Like literally, someone could have gone like whoop, and it would have been so funny, bro. And he gets up, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this." And then legit, my mate looks at him and he's like, "Mate, it took us 1 second to put you on the floor. How long do you think it'll take for both of you?" And then they were like, "Oh, true." And then they just left us alone, bro.
And then they added up their ages
Yeah,
and
yeah.
your ages, and they're like, "Oh, we can't."
Yeah,
do this
yeah, yeah.
shit."
My mate was just dropping bars that night. Like when
Yeah.
I heard him say, "Go back to your divorced wife and tuck little Jimmy in," honestly, I just lost it, bro. It was the
bro.
funniest bar I'd
That's
ever
funny.
heard.
Oh,
very
that's
bad.
so
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
So good.
that's the thing with town, right? That like, I'm glad that you guys like did something about that. But there's some dudes that go for the fight.
Oh, dude, I hate
That-
that.
okay, so there's
Yeah, no.
what they do, right?
People
This
who
is-
carry weapons.
I don't think
Like,
they.
why are you carrying a weapon?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're
Unless
supposed-
you're looking for a fight, you're
Yeah.
out there for a good time.
I don't
Yeah,
think that I
exactly
don't
right.
think they're looking for a fight at first. What I think that this is what my theory is about these dudes. They go out and they're like let's get some pussy tonight, guys, right? They're like, let's go get like some girls and bring them back and whatnot, right? Then they go to town, they fail miserably, right? And they're like, who wants to fucking go? They can find the first person to fight.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah, yeah.
because
They gotta let that stress out somehow.
Yeah,
so they're like,
exactly,
"Oh, I
yeah.
guess no fucking tonight, fighting tonight."
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
And
They
when
get on
they
their Mike
Fucking
Tyson.
or fighting, there's two options.
and they're not gonna angrily wank in their bed like up
We grab you, we jack in the shower. Midnight, they're like, "Fuck, I didn't get any girls tonight."
You're like, "Fuck, I'm still a virgin."
Fuck, I missed that left hook.
He's going over a play-by-play in his head.
Yeah, he's like,
Oh.
"Can't believe I lost that fight tonight." Fuck.
But yeah, those dudes, they're just the worst. Like, I hate that. Like,
Nah,
why would you
looking
go
for-
out for a fight?
It's so silly,
Also,
man.
why are you just going out to town for girls? Like, there's so go with your
For the
boys.
good time.
Yeah,
Go for the
man.
good
Enjoy,
time.
enjoy the music.
Yeah.
Dance a little. Let
Exactly.
go of some
And if it
stress,
happens,
bro.
it happens.
Yeah,
but, like,
exactly. Then
you
you're
know?
lucky, man.
Exactly.
That's what they say. You're
Get
getting
lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
it legit is lucky.
Yeah.
And there was in class the other day,
Yeah.
me and Peter, right, we were the perfect example of how to just start the vibe, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
'Cause-
right.
So
Yeah.
you weren't here when this happened. So the teacher started playing music, and she said that the first person gets to choose music. They put 70s party music on, bro.
Ooh.
So
Great
then,
shit,
so then
man.
I start
Yeah.
like I'm in my chair, I'm grooving, right?
Oh, boy.
And then like I look back at Peter.
Yeah, I see me
Peter's
grooving along.
grooving,
Yeah,
and then I'm like, may I
tunes.
have this dance, Peter? And we just start grooving together.
Oh,
Like,
man. we brought the club to uni, bro.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Yeah,
Exactly, and we
The
were just
vibes, man.
partying
Just
together, like
party
having a
central.
dance.
Dude, you know that video
Yeah.
they showed us, and it's like it takes the leader and then the follower. That was
That's
you.
us too,
was
that
you.
day. Yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
the whole class is up there.
Literally,
Yeah.
people were looking at us like when
Literally.
they were doing that
Yeah.
like video, and they were like, "Oh, that's you guys! Like you guys started that dance."
Yeah.
I
The
guess-
only thing is, no one joined in when we started.
I was gonna say no one joined in. It was just
Yeah,
us.
yeah. I'm pretty sure we had a few looks like, dude, are these guys 34? Yeah.
I think,
Like, is this what
no,
they used to
the
do?
main,
Yeah.
I think the main thought was like, it's fucking 10 to 9 in the morning.
Like, these guys, yeah, we were just like,
Yeah.
they probably were like, oh, these guys are cooked up for sure. We were just like grooving out. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the thing, though. Like, I feel like that's why I vibed with you guys particularly to start. I feel like we're all pretty high energy, like
Oh,
individuals,
exactly.
and then I just personally like. Synergistically, I just bounce off that, you know. Like I need high energy for me to be high energy, and
Oh,
then
exactly.
and then we just
Yeah.
get this fucking thing going, and it's sick. It's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
so much fun.
Well, it's
bro.
what I do at
Always,
work.
man.
Like I work on the drive-through, and I'm like, if people say ask for chicken nuggets, I'm like, you want sweet and sour sauce with those bad boys today? I'm just like,
Yeah,
just
man.
put a vibe onto it, like make it fun, right? And then when people do their pay wave, I'm like, you want to give that a swish and a flick, like Harry Potter? Like it's so, and people do it, and then when it doesn't work, I'm like, it's Leviosa. It's so much fun, man.
It's
like,
so good.
and, the easiest thing to do, bro. That's one of my favorite things. You hand out their meal, right, and then they go to grab it, and you go, and you drop it a bit, and they go, and the best thing about
You
it.
got COVID, bro.
Yeah, that's COVID. I said that's a new Robitussin. COVID. So
wait, what? I just missed that.
Okay.
That went way over my
So-
fucking head.
So for our older viewers, there was an ad back in the day for Robitussin. It's a cough medicine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
They had
yeah.
this whole ad campaign where it was like, oh, so when you sneeze, what do you say? Bless you. When you cough, what does someone say to you? There's nothing to say.
Yeah.
So let's make one. Robitussin. And that was the whole...
It's just the most random shit, bro.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It's something I drop, and then some people look at me like, "What are you talking about?" And then like one dude's like, "Yeah, Robitussin, my guy."
Yeah, oh, that's fucking
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
That's very good.
I lost it.
I was waiting for Bob to continue.
Yeah, same. I was like,
Peter
me and you looked at each other and we're like, Bob's gonna carry on. Sorry for the awkward silence for you viewers at home. Yeah,
No, it wasn't that I ran out of things. I was like, "Darling, what the fuck was I talking about?"
You were talking about the drive-through.
The drive.
Bob-
Oh
Dude,
shit!
that was the
Yeah,
funniest thing. I'm waiting for Bob to pick up about the drive-through.
Bob just had
Me
it.
and Peter lean in. Bob says nothing.
Bob, what are you, 86? I feel like
Yeah,
you just
no,
had a senior
exactly.
moment. I was like, yeah.
My brain just like went dead.
Your brain was just like, oh boy.
You flatlined.
You were like, center. Oh, what was I saying?
But that's the thing, bro. Like, back onto the original topic we were talking about. Like, when you give high energy, often you get high
Yeah.
energy back.
Oh,
bro.
exactly.
It's the same thing
the
with
vibes,
chicks
yeah,
as
yeah.
well. Like,
That's
you
true.
give that high energy, oftentimes you'll get reciprocated. Whereas if, like, that's why they're like, we want confidence, but more, like, yes, confidence is a part of it, but I feel like, in my case, it's more high energy. Like, if a girl's,
Yeah.
Man.
like, just showing a lot of high energy, naturally I'm more interested. Like, I'm always going to be more interested
Yeah.
in the one who's the highest
Yeah.
energy because naturally they stand out. more.
And they give you the sense of fun, you know?
They do,
You want to
yeah.
have a good time. We're here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah,
right? So you gotta
yeah.
make the most of it. Yeah.
I've always portrayed this vibe, like, because I'm not exactly a conventionally like Chad-looking
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and all that.
What do you
sort of
mean?
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, King. I love
Yeah,
that.
where's King?
But
Yeah.
no, pretty much. Like, it's like I don't really have that look about me, but like if I'm funny, make jokes and like have a good time and like people
or
go,
just
"Oh, I like it."
awkwardly dance in class.
Dude,
hey,
but,
try it out.
but like
Yeah,
Bob's
yeah.
probably got like the most recognition in class just because of the wild shit you say.
Yeah.
bro.
Exactly, yeah.
It
Like,
keeps
it's
it
so
fun.
good.
Yeah.
I'm just having fun with everybody, and like, I mean, there's always got to be one person who sacrifices their education to make a few jokes.
Yeah,
And to make it a
exactly,
bit of fun,
exactly.
you know,
And like this whole like
Definitely,
class clown thing, I reckon that's horseshit. But I reckon everyone should be coming like. Yes, like obviously looking to learn and do well, but also looking to have a good time, man. That's why when I got up and told that shit story, so essentially we had this thing in class where you had to tell your most embarrassing summer story, and I told a shit story kind of similar to the one I told last week on the podcast, and I just got up and performed it like I was on the fucking show, man. And then I reckon like if anything that helped people like get to know me because now all of a sudden, it's not the most flattering thing. That's the poo story guy, but it's like people know you, bro.
But people know you,
And I made it funny, and to be honest, I'm really not embarrassed about it at all because I like performed it in my own way. That was like I fucking own that
Exactly,
shit,
man.
But
That's the same thing about why I told the whole high bowling story.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
embarrassing as fuck, but it's fun. You know,
Yeah,
I can look
so
back
good.
at it and just crack up laughing.
There's
you
a
know?
no
Yeah,
shame
yeah.
there, and I don't think any of my tutors or any of the teachers are like really like that, like pissed off at me for like talking and stuff
No,
like that.
not at
Or,
all.
like, I never think I'm like interrupting the class. I'm just dropping a bit of like
Yeah.
funniness.
You're just, if anything,
Just
you're adding to
yeah,
it, and
exactly.
you're making a bit of atmosphere.
and then straight
yeah.
afterwards, I'm answering the question with like a thoughtful, insightful answer.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
you drop something on the Facebook, and it was like about shit we had done in class, and I'm like, how are you doing that? Like, as soon as I'm out of class, I'm literally just doing like mind-numbing shit. Like,
Yeah,
the last thing I
exactly.
want to think about is stuff in class. But this
Yeah,
guy's
yeah.
actually following
Oh,
it
yeah,
up.
doing research
And like, you
like,
wouldn't think from like the way you are in class that you're necessarily the guy to be like, following shit up, but you actually are.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
it's clear your
Yeah,
interest
yeah.
in the course.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't mean to flex or anything, but last year when I did a bit of a pre-course because I'm a late studier, so like I didn't know if I could still do it. Like the last time I wrote an essay was like 5-6 years ago.
It's like getting back on the bike. Yeah,
It really is, yeah. So
Still do this?
pretty
Yeah,
much
man.
like last year I did this like little course and stuff like that, see if I could do some work. I got an email last week, right, saying like, hey, can we use your work as like one of the examples for like pretty much the
I saw that.
it was I got a 95% on it or
That's
something like
fucking
that, and they were
wild.
like, let's use it for like and this
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
a personal statement.
Yeah.
It's like a 300-word paragraph about you, and it's like it was pretty much what you use as an application and shit like that. And I was like, apparently it was perfect. So I was
That's
like,
so fucking
awesome, yeah.
Yeah, did you add some personality to it?
I really did. I tried to
Yeah.
like add a bit of fun into it.
Yeah,
Like,
literally.
you
That's,
got to,
yeah.
man.
If you can make the reader like laugh, I feel like that's
Exactly,
so good.
that's the goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm always about that. Like, I just want to make someone have a one little giggle, and that's it.
Yeah.
If you're like, if you call me and you've got like the terrible news, you best believe I'm gonna make a joke about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to make.
So
a
imagine
joke
this.
about it.
Tim's like, my cat just died. Bob's just like,
Yeah, like my mate. I'm not going to say anything about a dead cat. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Oh yeah, sure.
But
Yeah.
my mate. Oh, the best example is my mate. He stacked his Beamer the other day,
Oh,
like
really?
a couple of
Yeah,
weeks
yeah.
ago. He just like drove it straight into a wall, kind of thing. and then he he was like, bro, like I've like written off the Beamer, and I'm
Yeah.
like, get that insurance money. And, like, I'm just trying to make him feel
Yeah,
better, like just saying like, don't worry about it, bro. You've got like now you've got an excuse not to drive anywhere. You
Yeah,
get your missus to do
exactly.
it.
Oh,
Like,
bro. Oh no, wait. To finish what you were saying? Sorry. I
Oh, it's just
interrupted
it
you.
was like his missus just drives him around now, and he's like he's living it up.
Yeah, that's fucking sick, bro.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
one door closes and several open. Now, one thing I did actually want to talk about, and I like sort of teased it last episode,
yeah.
was
Ooh.
about like how my high school tried to cancel this podcast.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
really?
yeah,
Did you know about this, Peter?
No, I didn't.
So yeah, fully, bro. So like, me and my mate Josh started this in in year 13, and like so last year of school, and my school just tried profusely to cancel the show, which I honestly like. I'm actually pretty shocked about. Like, yeah, we talk about like pretty civilized kind of things, but at the same time, like, it's also a medium for positivity. It's actually a medium to like freely speak. We welcome all ideas. Like, we've even got a Google Doc, by the way, in the description for you guys to drop like any of your like dodgy stories, and we can read them and like even give
Oh,
advice.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
And it's completely anonymous as well, by the way. Or you can send it if you don't care about it being
Yeah, if
anonymous.
you're
You can just send a
loud and
DM,
proud. Yeah,
send
yeah.
a DM to the Banter Bar, and we can like shout you out and shit and read your stories. But like, for me, like, even like I got this like one girl from South Africa messaging me who's like, it's so insightful to like hear this from like, you know, young guy's perspective, because like as like a teenage girl who goes to school in South Africa, we never hear about this kind of side of things.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Like they're just so
Yeah.
oblivious to it. So like in my head, it's always been like a positive thing, and we're just if we're clowning anything, it's ourselves mostly.
Yeah, man.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyway, as I said like last week, we go like I get caught. So just to recap. Teacher enters the classroom. We all have to stand up. Super old school. He walks me to his suite. I fucking sit down and I look across and I see my mate's fucking face loaded up on his computer screen, and I was thinking, oh no, I know exactly what this is about.
Oh boy.
Anyway, along came the famous line, Johnson, have you ever heard of the Banter Baron? and I honestly, so now that's why, for anyone who didn't know why me and Josh started calling it the Banter Baron halfway through us making the podcast, that was why. It was because it was a token to my school, like, thanks for trying to fucking cancel us, dickheads. So now, like, honestly, the Banter Baron. And yeah, so he gives me all this shit like, oh, you know, we've received a complaint. We've received a complaint about the podcast. I'm like, oh yeah? What's the complaint? Oh, we can't tell you.
I'm sorry. How do I fix a problem?
Like, how do I fix a problem if I don't know what the fucking
That's literally
problem
like
is?
someone pulling up to Bob's drive-thru and going, "We had a problem with our order,"
And then
and then Bob asking, "What was the problem?"
We can't tell you.
We can't tell you.
Like,
It's top
it
secret.
was just
Yeah.
fucking absurd. Like, no, legit, it was top
Yeah.
secret. And then they were like, okay, we want you to stop making them. And I'm just like, what?
We want you.
Not gonna happen. Yeah. Keyword want. Like,
Yeah,
there's no way I'm gonna stop this. Anyway, so the guy who's basically the fucking called me into his office. He was like, look, I'm gonna have to go ahead and watch these. So I'm just like, all right. Do yourself a favor and watch episode 3. It's probably
It's great.
He's
Yeah.
like, why is it the best or the most civilized? I'm like, it's the most civilized.
Yeah.
Like, definitely.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But feel free to drop a like and a subscribe.
yeah. He's there commenting like, boys, this is fucking great. I love the Banter Baron.
Yeah. Like,
That's fucking good shit, mate.
he's like writing it up like, I'm a South African girl. I'm like, here we go.
Imagine he was the South African girl just using like some voice distortion thing. And fuck, it was so funny, bro. And anyway, so I come back the next day, and it turns out he wants to see me after school. So I'm like, I go to like visit him at lunch or
Did he at
whatever.
least buy you a drink
And
first?
he's nah.
Yeah, this is pretty
honestly,
forward.
he bought me a lubricant fucking.
Wait, what? You said That was like his normal.
And you're like, sir, I failed the maths exam. How could I possibly get an A?
Yeah, he was on his Harvey Weinstein shit.
Anyway, I go back at lunch and he's not there, and then like one of the like headmasters walks past and he's like, oh, who are you looking for? And I tell him who I'm looking for. He's like, oh, come and have a chat. Come and have a chat with me. I didn't know he was. I thought he was just a random dude. Because he was new. He had newly been appointed to headmaster.
Yeah.
I had no idea who the fuck I was talking to.
Oh yeah.
So like no nerves or anything. And he gets in there and he's just like, yeah, I've gone over some clips and I just don't want you to think like in the future if you're applying for a job they like bring this up sort of thing. And I was like, look, I've sort of thought about the repercussions. Obviously, I don't think that'll happen because this is it's a comedy show. Like we make it, we put warnings. It's a comedy show. It's not for everyone. Not everyone has to watch it. But if you enjoy it, that's who it's for. And he's like, oh yeah, well if you can justify it to yourself in that way, then go ahead. And I was just like, I was thinking, you fucking cunt. I felt like saying, well if you can justify getting up every single morning, putting that fucking cheap suit on and coming to this shithole to teach kids for a living, then you do that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I just felt like being like, fuck off. Like, how do you justify that to yourself, you wanker?
Well, schools just stamp out creativity. There's there's a whole like the comparison where like classrooms in the 1920s were built and like school systems were built for like factory workers.
Yeah.
Like so you go out of school, you've got enough knowledge to work in a factory and be able to read and like do numbers and shit like that.
Yeah.
But like nowadays, we're trying to be more creative and stuff like that, and the same like classroom environment is just desk.
Yeah.
I mean, in New Zealand schools it's a bit different with like desks sometimes together and stuff like that, but it's not as like common anymore. It's just like you do your own shit. Your creativity is stamped out. If you're a drama kid, you might get a bit of like time on the stage.
And that's the thing, like there's only one drama award at prize giving still, you know what I mean? Whereas there's like 100 fucking like maths and like PE
exactly.
and
It's so funny. Like I talked to my mate who's like studying psychology at the moment, and he's like, oh yeah, today I had to read like a 600 like page book, and I was like, oh well, bro, today I had to play like drunk Kanye West in a skit. And he's like, when do you study?
And today, like we got the challenge to create our own light bulb joke. And that was we did a course pretty much on creativity and about how like we had to sort of envelop that creativity again, find it, and then like the task we got set was to make a light bulb joke. And some people were so good, man. Like I mean,
there were some fire ones. Dude.
Like there was.
And like just for reference, we had to keep it relatively tame as well. Like your one got taken down. I fucking say it, bro. It was funny as shit.
Oh, there you go. This is the perfect place.
This is the place to say it. The Banter Barn. Yeah. How many misogynists does it take to change a light bulb? The same amount it takes to run a breakfast show on the Rock.
Dude, when I heard that and like reading it in my own head, it was just like as soon as I saw that punchline, I was like, "Fucking hell, that is golden."
my one was the how many Smiths does it take to screw in a light bulb? Just one, but she'll probably just try to call it an entanglement.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It just got dodgy.
But it was like a great experience.
Oh, it was great. Yeah. No, I'm all for dodgy, but like that's what I want. And,
literally, like Bob's jokes, like joking about out of touch celebrities. My jokes, joking about misogynists.
Yeah,
school's
exactly,
like we don't like that shit.
Yeah. They were cancelling our creativity, bro. And back on the cancelling thing, I'm gonna carry on with my little school story. I'm in my flow, bro. I'm in my flow.
Come on, rant off, Rogan.
So anyway. I get pulled in after school. I'm like, oh, here we go. It's fucking round 2, boys. Let's go. I'm keen. I walk in. John's going to take a seat. I sit down.
Yeah.
So, did you watch the episode I told you to? I watched all fucking 3 of them.
Oh.
He literally...
Well, he was a full fan.
He went home and he binge watched all 3 of them.
Oh, look at that.
And he's like, the way you motherfuckers... And he's like, sorry, I can't stop swearing after watching the show. I'm like, yeah, we have that effect on you. Anyway, like, we bantered about it for a little bit, but at the end of the day, he's still got to do his job. So he handed me this fucking thing, and it was the Broadcasting Act rights of
boy.
And I'm just reading the rules, and it's like, you can't swear. You can't. I'm like, what the fuck?
You're like, what the fuck?
What the fucking fuck? and like, obviously, can't fucking swear.
Fucking fuck
what is this? So I'm like,
so
I go through it and I highlight all these fucking rules that and then I get called in again, right? So it was basically became it was me and my boyfriend's fucking office pretty much. Like, I was just getting invited back every lunch.
And oh man, well, I hope he was shouting you.
No, just a loop. And I go back and I just like I show him all these rules and I'm like
have you ever watched a comedy show? I'm like, do you know 7 Days? Have you ever watched a Ricky Gervais live comedy where he's like taking it, like saying some really borderline shit, you know? And he just looked at me. He's like, yeah, good point. This guy had no rebuttal. Like, honestly, I was just like, I was going home, and like my homework for that day was get more steps ahead of the teacher. Like, think of more rebuttals, bro. Because like I'm that kind of person where it's like, you know, when I'm getting on with someone, I'm the nicest guy. But when someone tries to cross me for just like no apparent reason, I'm gonna walk that line, and I call it the cunt line.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, boy.
So it's the line. It's the line where they can't actually punish you, but you're still enough of a pain in their ass, so it's fucking agony for them. So
exactly.
you're the cunt line, hence the name. So you're just being this like, you know, like irrefutable cunt. Like, you know, they actually can't get rid of you because it's not within their means to. And I was walking this line, and I was going through, and they were, so basically what they were trying to cancel me for was like being recognizable. So you can't be like recognizable as a student in an online environment, right? If you're breaking the school rules. You can if you're following the school rules, but obviously I'm fucking breaking them, like talking about all this shit.
Probably.
But definitely.
Well, luckily you're not at the school.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. But I was super careful, never mentioned it once, like never associated it. Never associated myself, but then it got to the point where they were just going to try and cancel me anyway, even though I hadn't broken a single rule. And I was like, you know what? If they're going to try and like cancel me even though I haven't broken a school rule, if they try and pull me up for something where I'm not associated with the school, I'll pull up something where they're not associated with the school.
Oh boy.
And I found some dirt. Yeah. There was like a nude.
Any dancing?
There was like a nude picture of like one of the teachers trying to like lick his nipple.
Oh my god.
So get this, bro. And then another teacher of one of the smoking like a fucking, I don't know, one of those huge like shisha pipe things. And obviously it's not that bad. I don't care. You can smoke as much shisha as you want, but technically it's against the school rules. Technically it is. So I printed out these fucking huge A3 pieces of paper of the guy licking his nipple and the teacher fucking hitting the vape thing. And I printed out a thing of the school rules and highlighted the exact school rules they were violating. I'm an eye for an eye kind of person, you know what I mean?
Like when the Irish guy's like, I've got the lube, you were like, I've got your photo.
Exactly.
I got your nipple.
Give it to me quick. This photo's great. Legit, bro. And thankfully, I never got called in again.
That teacher was going like, fuck, you might find my OnlyFans. Let's not go any further.
Legit.
Yeah,
exactly.
that teacher on his
and
Kim K shit.
You'd be suspecting that, especially after he bought me that lube. Just for reference, no lube was bought in the process of me nearly getting cancelled.
He was not molested as a child. That would not be funny.
That was not funny. No, but like, again, just to like reiterate, I just wanted to say that because it's something like, you know, it's about the history of this podcast, and I feel like it's apparent to the show. Like, again, I've got like no problems with the school or anything like that. Like, again, it's a great fucking place. Love all the people that go there. 99% of all the staff, all the students are absolute legends. Like, some of my fucking closest friends go there, and I like, honestly, like, best school experience I could have ever asked for. So like, to shit on them is probably a little bit unfair, but also like, I feel like what they like did to me was also a little unfair. So eye for an eye. Eye for an eye.
Oh, it's all good. I can shit on my high school. Have
you got any fucked up shit from your high school?
Okay. What do we got? So
like there's even more dirt at my school. Like, one of the teachers held like penis drawing competitions. Just weird shit, man. Like, there's some weird fucking stuff. Like, for such a Hundies hardcore school, and some people are so old school and hardcore, there are some weird motherfuckers.
we had the shit stories. Like, every school has a shit story.
We
had a cleaner that walked into a bathroom after like shit was smeared on the walls and quit. Walked in and was like, nah, I'm not dealing with this.
Oh, dude, I got this funny thing. So one of my mates, he's fluent in Chinese, right? And like, I feel like a lot of the time at school, like, typically, how do I say this without sounding like a cunt? Typically, people tend to reside within their own, like, ethnic circles.
They
They do, right? Like typically, you know, there's
Yeah.
the white guys, typically there's the Asians, typically there's
Yeah,
like the
that's-
Polynesians, typically there's like, you know, there's all there's different ethnic groups, and it's just
Yeah.
I don't think it's like racist. It's just naturally you find common ground with people who like are growing up and risen the same. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
risen
about culture.
the same
It's
way
all
you
about
guys
that,
are.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
nothing to do with race, but more like to do with culture, right?
Yeah, like if you have the same language, it's easier to talk to.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like
Simple as
often, and there are these two like Chinese guys in the bathroom, and they're,
here you
and
go.
they're like taking a piss next to each other, talking in Chinese. Now, I didn't know why they were talking Chinese. I just imagined it was their thing. I imagine they probably could speak English as well. But I was with my mate who could speak Chinese, and we leave the bathroom, and he starts cracking up. I'm like, "What are you cracking up?" He's like, "Did you hear what those guys are saying?" I'm like, "No, I can't speak fucking Chinese." And dude, this is like the difference in culture. It was so funny when I heard this. Apparently, the guy like turns to his mate, and he's like, "Dude, you got such a small dick." yeah. And then the other Asian dude was like, "Dude, are you kidding me? You got a little noodle down there." Like all this like really fucking savage shit.
He didn't say a little noodle. Did he say
No,
that those were the
legit, like a little noodle or like a little shrimp or something like
Oh,
that.
that's
I don't know.
great.
Like
Wow.
something hilarious. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
dude, I could never imagine that doing. It shows you the difference in banter between like cultures, dude. Like
yeah.
I could never be taking a piss next to some dude, look at his cock and be like, "Some small cock." Like, you know what I mean? Like that would just be the most demeaning thing in the world. And they're there having a proper chew about it. So I'm just like, fucking go for it. Like if that's how you do.
Can we get these guys to guest on the Banter
Yeah,
bar?
yeah. Imagine getting these guys on, bro. They
Yeah,
would
no,
just have
and
the
they
cleanest
broke
banter.
they broke the first rule of the men's bathroom. You never
Never
go into a
go to the
urinal.
urinal right beside you.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
never
yeah.
do it as well. And it's
Rule
like an
number one.
open urinal, and there's no like boards in between, so they were legit just like eyeing out, like, and it was fucking. Sorry, by the way, when I said noodle, it had nothing to do with the fact they were Asian.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just
Same,
like it was just
same.
like a small like appendage like sort of fucking material, and noodle was the first thing that came to my head.
Oh, that
Noodle,
no,
shrimp,
yeah, exactly.
pasta. I don't give a fuck.
Can you imagine being at a urinal and this dude, like some dude, just walks up beside you and just goes, "Nice."
Like
Good shit, man.
that's the only place I can imagine that happening is at like a sports event. You know, when you're like super drunk and you're
Yeah.
just like at like a sports event, and it's your classic like
Oh.
senders that go to the rodeo. I can just imagine taking a person, some guy being like, "Huh, nice," like some Chad guy as well, and that would be all they said. Like they wouldn't make it weird.
They wouldn't make it like, yeah,
They
wouldn't
wouldn't
go
make
into
it like
detail.
super
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
They'll just be like, "Huh, nice," and then walk right out before you can even respond.
I did know a guy like that. I did know a guy like that who was like, he was just like the sort of so chill with it, right? He walked in on me like one time, just like
Yeah.
naked, and I was like, oh fuck, whatever. And then like later on, he was like, "You got a nice dick, bro," and it wasn't gay at all. I didn't feel like it was gay, and I was like, "Thanks."
Like, what do you say? Like, what do you say? Like,
Like,
it's-
I don't know how you say like, what do you like? Do you say thank you?
you were like Eminem in that moment.
Exactly.
You just didn't know what to say, but I guess like it goes one of two ways. Either some guy's like, "What?" and tries to start shit with you, or like exactly what I would
Yeah,
do.
it's
I'd
like-
just be like, "Thanks, bro." I know. No, that'd be a cunt.
Nice
like,
cock,
thing to
bro.
say. Oh, that's so fucking good. Yeah, like honestly, some of the like demographic that are at some of those rugby games is so funny.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like, I've had some absolute creatures behind me, like honestly, smelling like bath as well, bro. I was like, I remember being young when we were at the cricket,
Yeah.
and like,
Oh.
and because cricket, like low key compared to like a fast paced sport, it's so slow. So you can go get drinks and these guys were just necking back drink after drink after
Yeah.
drink after drink.
That's why I
And-
say people don't like cricket. They like being alcoholics.
Yeah, that's why people are going to the cricket.
Yeah,
It's very rare
exactly.
you actually get cricket lovers. You just get fucking drinkers, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then oh, I saw this fucking TikTok and it was so true, bro. It was like it was like they were talking about Brazilian jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
and they were like so it was this video, and it was a stoner
yeah.
against a cop. And it was like the only it was like the closest bonding a stoner and a cop has ever had, and it's like them rolling in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But then I saw this comment, and it was like, "No, at jiu-jitsu you actually find out the cops are stoners." And I was like, you know what, you're probably right, because pretty much all the jiu-jitsu community, especially because of now like the popular rise of like Rogan and all this, like talking about, I'm pretty sure Nate Diaz like fights stoned.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
like, there's definitely been an uptake
Probably.
of like people wanting, like I feel like jiu-jitsu is the number one sport they advocate doing while high. They actually think it makes you better.
People were saying like was there that sprinter that had like weed in his system and got like completely like taken off?
Yeah,
and,
it
like,
was. does. Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
like, I don't think weed's exactly a performance
Performance-enhancing
enhancing drug.
drug.
Yeah, exactly. Like for me personally.
It didn't enhance my bowling, did it?
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Yeah.
And then, like for me, I personally become a veggie.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
All I
Yeah,
want to do, I
exactly.
don't want to do any work. I want to sit down and I want to watch Family Guy.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
about all I can comprehend.
Yeah,
Although
I want to listen to Bob Marley, watch Family Guy.
Yeah,
chill
or
out.
just have like a nice chill conversation. That's
Yeah,
why I
man.
think filming it would be crack up. So if you guys
Yeah.
actually want to see that, fucking drop that in the comments below
Yeah.
on our,
Yeah,
on our
because we'll do
YouTube
it.
platform. Because we'll 100% do it, bro. I reckon that'd be a fat
Yeah,
yarn.
man.
Like
Oh.
if you'd be keen as
Oh,
well,
bro, I'd
like
be
we just
keen.
do.
Oh,
It's
exactly,
fucking
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Just have a nice chill time and like, you know,
Yeah,
get
bro.
to on that next level and
Yeah,
see
yeah,
see how
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
And see how far we go.
Yeah, bro, answer the meaningful questions to life.
That's
you know,
what I'm
just get
saying.
high
And-
as fuck and then-
Probably the sensor bleeps will be insane. I'm just glad I picked up that sensor bleep.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
like usually I'm in editing and I'm like, oh, I can't fucking say that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But nah, I'm really glad that we've got like this forum where we can just fucking actually just be out.
man.
Like,
But
be,
also, the more we edit, the more people will be like, "Oh, what did they say?"
What did they say?
Yeah. Sometimes
exactly.
adding the beep makes it funnier, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
reckon,
yeah. Oh,
You'll
no,
just
I
hear the
love that.
beeps and you'll be like, just imagine the worst
Yeah,
shit.
leave
that
it to
comes
the
head.
imagination,
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
boys, an hour 10.
Out
Fuck,
of
that
10.
flew by,
It
bro.
actually
Yeah.
did fly by.
Yeah.
How'd you enjoy being on the Banter Bun,
It
bro?
was great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, fucking
So
hey,
should,
yeah.
we, should we call that a wrap?
Banter.
I'm gonna fucking dap you up, Bob. I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking dap you
Yeah.
up, my bro.
That was
That
good.
was fucking sick.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
great,
bro,
man.
That was awesome.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast, please leave a like. Check us out on Spotify. These guys' socials will be in the description, and we'll see you once again next week on the Banter Bun. Catch you later.
Catch you later.
That was easy, bro.
Dude,
podcast,
that was
yeah.
fucking.
The 923, you're wasting my time, you ain't fucking with me. I'm the underground king, stepping to the throne. Young prodigy, Bell Cooper's very own. When I rap, when I flow, they calling me the GOAT. I'll hit the game winner and I'm never gonna choke.